Om Namaste everyone.
Apavushnatvam na च नैसर्गिकम् तथा जीवत्वम् आत्मा आरोपितम् आपवुष्णत्वं न च नैसर्गिकम् तथा जीवत्वम् आत्मा आरोपितम्. Like water is normally in room temperature. The heat in water is created by something else, like gas or sunlight, whatever the case. Likewise, Atma or consciousness is totality. The Jivatvam or individuality is something created by superimposition or by us. Is it clear?
Though the recording was not all audible, but this word is enough, superimposition. So whatever is superimposition on Atman, Brahman, our pure self, if we dissociate, discard, you can't discard but at least dissociate or don't identify with that, then we all are realized beings, always realized. If you ask anyone if they are unhappy, stressed, anxious, having any problem, suffering, some situation is creating suffering. And suffering always comes in a form of a thought. Thoughts with emotions. Let's say someone is really suffering badly. He has lost everything. People have left him. He has a disease in the body or whatever. Do you think that person never sleeps? What happens to that person when he goes into deep sleep? The person who is suffering all the time, when he is in deep sleep, what happens? There is total bliss. Because of only one reason. There is no superimposition of thoughts, of mind. Mind has gone into sleep, in deep sleep. And that's why we can be in blissful sleep. So at that time, all these images on the screen have disappeared for some duration to give us some rest. It is like a person who is in theater all the time, goes back home to rest and then comes back again. We are on round the clock on this game of Maya, this illusory game in which we are playing a role. And it is also a bit compassionate. It gives us few hours of sleep or rest or out of this. Let's say we wake up and now mind is active. And what suffering we left at night comes back again. All those issues. If you are really a person who is full of wisdom, cannot be fooled again next morning. Because this all is external. Mind, body, situation, suffering. Take your clue from your sleep. In deep sleep, there is no issue, only bliss. Now the mind comes out, creates this whole big world, and your situation, it's like part 2 of your life or part 3 or whatever it is. There's a break and then the next series comes. This series, this serial ends when the breath goes away, then the game finishes, this movie finishes. But even if, let's say, this movie continues for as long as it has to, whether you like it or not, can you still stay in bliss in waking state? Yes, everyone can stay in that bliss. If we pick up this point that whatever has come out, spring out, has nothing to do with my bliss. It is all external. In deep sleep, we are not even aware of the body. There is no mind. And we are in deep bliss. We wake up fresh. Sometimes in morning, for some people, it is even hard to speak when it is really deep sleep. You wake up, you see, and sometimes disorientation to that level that whether it's morning or night. One thing in Bhagavan was very peculiar when he was a child. He used to have a very, very deep sleep. So if he had a fight with another kid, they used to beat him up in his sleep. Otherwise, he was a bit strong, so they couldn't do that stuff. But he will not remember. And that is also so good. Let's say someone is in sleep, someone beats him up, he doesn't know, then nothing has happened to him. That deep sleep in which we have no awareness of anything, that is our true self. We are that screen on which this movie of life comes and goes, comes and goes. This is all add-on. Let's say we have an object, you break it, you reach up to atom, maybe to electron, nucleus. So it looks like here it ends. When we see ourselves, where we end only as pure I, Atman, self-awareness. No body, no mind, no intellect, no ego, nothing. If we accept that as us, which is that in deep sleep, then we all are realized all the time, forever, eternally. No practice needed of any kind. Just remembrance of this, that's all. That I am that same awareness which was sleeping, I have come out, and in this waking, this mind is in waking state, which has taken over this big projection around me, and a body and thoughts and a situation. But this all is external to me. This all is coming from Maya illusion. This all is fake. This all is unreal. I am the reality. I am truth. There is no truth apart from me. There is nowhere to go. nothing to realize. I am that I am. Whom are we convincing like this? To the mind which tells us, no, you are me. Without me, you cannot survive. I am your guiding principle. I guide you each and every moment by giving you constant thoughts. To love someone or to kill someone, you have to take orders from me. You have no separate existence. This is the voice of mind in our head. For practical purposes, we say mind in our head. We are not mind, it is not our head. It is all external. You discard all this identification, de-identify. We all are realized. Once we are convinced that we all are realized, then what? Nothing, just mind will say, then next. This is the end of the movie. There is already the end. Movie has ended. Because movie means the one who is fooling us. Now we know it. So for us, the movie has ended. Now, if continues, it's a joke. It's just a play. There is no substance, no suspense in it. It's like magician was showing a trick and you know the trick. Now whether he continues showing it or he stops, you have no interest. So all your actions become disinterested. There is no doership in it. No doer is there. Doer was fake. It was mind created an I thought which was thinking I am that and living in the body. Complete disrespect and disregard to us. We are that pure awareness. We are that source through which mind and body is acting. We are always realized. No one has to convince awareness to say awareness is realized. There is no second person. There are not two people living in this body mind also. It is only illusory creation of mind as an I thought who thinks I am the body and I have a mind and I have to take orders from mind and then live this complex life full of contradictions in my mind and suffer. Now we all are convinced that I am which was there even in deep sleep. And I am not dead because from deep sleep it is also in awake. But there are some add-ons, some superimposition on it. That's okay. Let it be. Like someone who is living naked and then someone comes and gives him clothes. That doesn't mean that he's still not the same man with the body. Then someone dresses that person more. Still you are the same. You can dye your hair or do something else or put makeup, but you're still the same. Same is with us. When we wake up, mind gives rise to this body, intellect, ego, situation, everything. And then no change in us. then what happens? Then you move in society, you interact, you do your work, job, living in family or living with people, going to a market. What happens? Who is doing all this? Who does? When the mind comes up, a body comes up, and the body comes up, and then the whole world comes out. And let them do what they're doing. How does it affect what the body does if you're not the body? Or how the world behaves if this all is external to you? And thousands of times we have realized that even these thoughts which come to the mind does not lead the body the way it has to. Sometimes it thinks and it happens, and half of the time those things don't happen. When it happens, we become addicted to those things, and when it doesn't happen, we feel sad, we suffer. But things just happens randomly. Things are just happening. Body does some action. Sometimes those actions give rise to fruit of that action, sometimes not. Where are we in this whole equation? Where is our locus? Nowhere. It is exactly, truly right that we are living in a simulation, in a body. It is like a computer game, predestined. You don't have much choice in this. There are some limitations, some bonuses, but if the video game of your life has to finish in 2 minutes, it will finish in 2 minutes. You cannot extend. You get some bonuses. It looks like you are controlling this computer game, but it's already being made. You are just player. You hardly have any control. Those controls are being given in limitation to you. People talk about, these physicists, they talk about this place is this much light years away. Why they talk about light years? Because they don't know anything else which is faster than that. I would say everything is mind years away. As long as your mind can travel, anything can happen. So let's say in this computer game, because we think we are really big, the world is big. Ant thinks the same in your house, that this is huge house, I can't even travel the whole house. Same is happening here. And then we invent a rocket, we go in that rocket, and we think we will go this time to Mars, Venus, Pluto. And then when we go there, and then we think that everything is still big. So you are trying to find the end of this dream, Maya. The moment you focus on something, it becomes unending and you get lost. It happens in every field of science, you can say. Researchers, you go deeper and you see mystery and you get lost. And you find things and you discover, and then we will call that particular thing by your name and you will get a Nobel Prize. And then have you sorted out anything? No. This mystery of life can only be sorted out if you stay as a witness all the time. You will sort out your mystery, you will sort out the word mystery, you will sort out every mystery. Because you are that mystery. Stay in that awareness all the time. Even let's say right now, mind is there, body is there, thoughts are coming, emotions are coming. Just watch it, because this all is external. Be convinced about this truth, that this all is external and you are that awareness, which is the fuel, which is the energy of this body, which is the source of mind. You are that. You are not a player, you are not a doer, you are just a witness. This body has been programmed to do certain things in this life. Let it do. You just watch. If you are objecting and you are interpreting things, then you become part of the game. If you want to be out of the game, the only way is witnessing, nothing else. The moment you're this deep witnessing continues without any obstruction, without any break, we call you self-realized, abiding in self, free, liberated. This whole liberation is internal, no external. There can be some changes in body, your eating habits, but then you don't own this body, so how can you say it is my body? Do you think if those changes comes, then you will say it has happened to my body? It has happened to a body which is using, in which there is no more ego, because that body has sorted out itself in some way. Understand the rules of this, how to sort out puzzle. Everyone, every being has to sort out their own puzzle in their own way to get out of it. A teacher, a guide, another person who has done can only give you these hints and clues. You have to pick up these subtle cues and apply on yourself all the time. And one more thing is, some people think that it happens like this and then it's done. And then I would say for most of us, it's a gradual process of transformation. It's like flowering. It opens up. And there is like, you can say this is all towards the egoistic life, but that's not a problem, because slowly the ego disappears, that energy comes. You can watch that ego, how it behaves, what silly things, and it will keep doing few stupid, silly things, even when you know what it is. And you can laugh on the stupidity of the actions you have done, or the thought it has come to you, or even some actions which are because of habit. Let's say habit of lying, which everyone lies about things. Some lie maybe once in a month, some lies once in a minute. But everyone has this habit. This is the habit of ego. But in this realization, you see it is so clear. Sometimes we lie in a very twisted way to convince our ego that it is not a lie, I'm just trying to hide some facts, while you know the other person wants to know the facts. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it becomes all so transparent, so clear in that witnessing. You are, I'm not saying you become judgmental, but everything becomes so clear. For some people, realized person appears to be a fool, that he thinks everyone is nice, everyone is good, and he respects everyone. He does not respect anyone. He only respects himself, because it is his play of this Maya coming out. It is all his. If you have created everything, how can you say these are bad? Though they have a role to play. Maybe someone's role is as a killer. Someone is doing good work. Someone is always bitching. They just a role is being played, and they think they are playing this role and they are suffering, but you just laugh on it, and you have empathy for everything which is still behaving as a doer. So you connect with the energy in everyone. Because you are there, you have all that love, because it's just you. It's nothing. Don't think that love thy neighbor is a big thing, and the neighbor is a nasty person, and Jesus has said you have to love and you have to hold on to your grudge and still love. It's nothing like that. It's all just fake drama in which there is a neighbor and you and there's an issue. Nothing matters. When you give up your personality, you don't interact with anyone's personality. That's why there is peace. Awareness speaks to awareness at the level of awareness. So if someone comes in touch with profound awareness where it is flowing, you get uplifted because you are interested in that. But let's say someone is completely blind about it, complete ignorance, full of ego. For him, that energy can be very toxic, that pure enlightened energy. To an extent that that person might want to get rid of that energy by defaming or even killing or maybe something else, or might run away. It is all about liking what you like, you gather that. So with this energy, so many negative energies around you will just start disappearing. Relationships can change. Either they will be like you, or they will leave you, or you will leave, or something might happen. Who knows? It is all play of that pure energy, which is in all of us. We just have to identify with that neutral, impartial energy. That's all. You call it energy, awareness, consciousness. It has no name. It is indescribable. Because it is outside the domain of mind. And to speak, you have to use speech and mind. Nobody is able to explain it. You can experience it. You can be that experience and experiencer of that as that. Not as mind. Because all our life we have experienced everything at level of mind. Because they are after mind. Now this thing, entity, is before mind. So mind has no clue. It tries to describe, but it always fails. So with lot of research, old rishis and saints came with these 3-letter word for it. Sat-Chit-Ananda. Sat means it is reality, it is truth. It never changes. Because everything which is changing is part of the Maya illusion, sansar, which is sansar means which is changing all the time. In Hindi, there is another beautiful word for word, Jagat. Jagat means which has a gat, which has a movement, gati. Only you are not moving, you are that unmoving. Apart from you, everything is moving. And this moving is just illusion. And sansar is the other word in Hindi or Sanskrit, which also means changing. So sansar or jagat or this word, this is all just unreal. That reality is this awareness, which is always the same. Mind keeps changing, so they call it unreal. Reality is something which you cannot further break into parts. As I was telling you, an object you can reach up to atom, or as Neelakantan ji was giving an example of warm water, water is made up of these, so you can divide it. Here, there is no division. You can't divide yourself. You can't go beyond it. There is nothing. It all ends on you. Nowhere to go, no one to find. The second thing is Chit. What is Chit? Chit is consciousness or awareness. It is conscious, it is fully conscious, it is not dead. Like you can't be a dead wood. Even whatever karmas you do, you cannot be dead. You will be alive. Even that, maybe if you become wood, you in that wood would be alive as awareness. That wood might look dead, but you will be alive. Or you become plant. I think now we know that plant has life like us, or animals have, or creatures have. And one day we might know that everything has some consciousness. So that consciousness stays there. That is Chit. It never changes. And the third part is Ananda, Sat-Chit-Ananda. Anand is bliss. Knowing yourself is bliss. Or you can say, disowning your mind is bliss. If you disown all the noise in your head, you attain bliss. Because whatever is left is that pure silence, divine silence, which never changes. It has not come from anywhere else. It is we are that silence, Ananda. Ananda is coming from that silence, where there is no noise in the head. You work for an employer who keep giving you instructions one after the other. One instruction, before one instruction ends, he gives you next command and then next command. Sometimes he gives you 3 commands at the same time. What will you do with that employer? You will kill. You will kill that employer immediately. Maybe you might tolerate for a few days. You will quit that job. But here what we are doing, we keep living from birth to birth to birth. Even if you don't believe in other births, at least in this birth, whatever we are living, whatever age we have lived, this employer is on our head. And he confuses us. Sometimes he says, do this, and then next moment when I do it, then he says, no, do this. Then when I'm still doing this, he says, no, what about tomorrow? What are you going to do tomorrow? You're making breakfast, it talks about dinner. Such a crazy employer. And we don't quit this job. We keep doing it. This is all pure ignorance, because no one has told us in school. Our parents never told us. Even our religions have not told us. Whatever religion you are born, nobody tells us this. Idol worshippers, they keep doing idol worshipping or whatever, and you do rituals and you go to church on a Sunday or a mosque on Friday or Tuesday or something. We keep doing what these things are, and we never question that who is the doer? Is there any doer in this body? Do we have to keep listening to these incessant ugly thoughts? And you know whom we call suffering, and they have mental health issues when these thoughts becomes negative. But who is not having negative thoughts? Everyone gets negative thoughts. And more than these negative thoughts are thoughts which make you proud, which makes this ego bigger. They are the biggest enemy. At least people who have negative, they are very humble. I think they are more close to enlightenment because they have this passion for the things around. While the egoistic people, they just want to achieve everything and exploit everyone. I think depressed people looks more spiritual than the egoistic people to me. At least they are humble and they have dispassion. They have to just give up all these, detach from this, because it is power in our hands to detach from all this mind game. It is all external. But if you're loving this game, then you're not going to listen to this talk, or you're not ever going to attend satsang. So you will stay in ignorance for longer than a person who understands where the suffering comes from. A person who is atheist, who is not believing in any religion, can get freedom so easily by just observing things. There is no concept of God in this. Concept of God and ego goes together. No ego, no God. Or then it takes you to that Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. No one can fool us except our own mind, because we never question it. We see ourselves as projection of the mind. This body is a projection of mind. We see ourselves as projection of the mind. We make ourselves so little. It's role reversal. We are the source, that pure silence from which all energy is given to mind, body, complex. If we are the mind, then every day in deep sleep we should be dead. But that's not the case. And we all know without mind we are so happy. There's one solution to get rid of all our problems. Mano Nasha. Finish off this mind. Then who is stopping you to finish it off? You don't have to advertise or have to take permission from anyone or from your employer or your family members that should I get rid of it? And the best way to get rid of it, just be a witness to all these things. Witness means that you stay uninvolved. And with constant practice and with grace of this pure self within you, it will give you so much of a strength that whatever comes and goes, you stay as the screen, not the moving object in front of the screen. You recede, you detach, you stay uninvolved. And then it is always bliss. Efforts are needed only to understand the truth and to pay attention on that what we are. And then who wants to move back into that ugly role? Nobody. Then this effort continues till it becomes effortless. Nobody has to keep reminding you whatever your name is. It is because of constant repetition you remember your name. When your parents gave you this name, you thought this is a third person. See how kids talk about their name. John, this is for John. John wants this. They talk themselves as third person. And all the enlightened beings talk exactly like that. They talk this body as this body is going from that place to that. Bhagavan used to talk so many times like that. But then, for daily, day to day, you make people confused, so you just say I. But he used to say, if you remember Bhagavan, Bhagavan will remember you. Anandmayi Ma, whenever she used to travel from point A to B, because she always keep changing her place, few weeks at a place. She used to say, now the sharir, the body will go to this new place, new city, She never said, I am going. She said, body will go. Body is going. Maybe that is the body's prarabdha karma to keep traveling. Who has fooled us? No one else except us. Don't think your body is most beautiful. That's why you think I am the body, because you run marathon, and everyone, even the bodies, whatever the body is, everyone thinks I am this body. Not the most beautiful people. Whether you are beautiful or ugly, but everyone has this I am the body idea. Give up this wrong idea. This idea is the only cause of suffering. Stay as nothing. There is no locus where you have to pay attention. You just have to give up your identification with the thoughts, with the body. Then wherever, whatever it is, it is. Then you are only that. How long it will take? Not even a fraction of a second. And after that, it is just paying attention to that. It is so easy, so direct. No mediator, no middleman. Then stop speaking from that low level of energy. Even if the body speaks something, your identification should be with awareness. And the best test is how you feel inside when an argument happens with someone, or someone says something, or these interactions, that ananda stays or ananda goes away immediately, and you become animalistic again, and you want to hit other person, or at least think about that. This is our own test all the time. This profound bliss is infinite, it never ends. If you are established in it, even if you are closer to it. Like, you go to a mountain or a hill station and you keep traveling towards the top. Before even you are at the top, you have cool breeze and nice fragrance around. So you know that these are the milestones to be there. More you feel peace within you, more you don't want to win any argument against anyone. Let others win whatever they want to say. Let them say, even about you. then I'm 100% sure you're on right path. When you are peaceful within you, when you stopped competing, you don't feel jealous, greedy, no negative energies. When you stop getting angry, when you're not looking for next moment, when there's no fear of missing out, when you're not trying to grab company of people, then you know that you are at peace with yourself. With people, without people, that energy stays the same. Even with body or without body. I know little bit happens to the body and people get into panic mode. I might die. So much of strong identification with body. There's a huge difference in energy of awareness in which you live once you identify with it. And that egoistic energy which is holding, I am the body, I am the mind idea. This is the difference between real freedom, liberation, liberated being, awakened being. Once you know this all around me is illusory, body, images, people, only that awareness is reality in every being, then how people behave, what they say, what they don't say, how does it matter? And the best example again comes to Bhagavan. I was telling someone recently that someone wrote Bhagavan's biography completely wrong and showed it to him. He just did some grammatical correction and gave it back. And people said, why you did like this? You should have corrected it. When you know that this all is dream and whatever the dream people are saying or doing, how does it matter? Even let's say he would have written a right story about Bhagavan, that he was born here, did this. He has no I'm the body idea. So that story again is not his. It is the story of that body. He's outside that story of body. We are so fortunate to have a realized being in our times who has given us such a quick and direct path to finish off this journey. His teaching, people say self-inquiry. I don't agree at all with this. His teaching is staying as awareness in silence, that's all. Self-inquiry teaching is for people who cannot understand this silence. It is a second level. People who would have read Bhagavad Gita, it talks about do this. If you can't do this, then do this. If you can't do this, then do this. And brings down to the level of a very, very common ignorant person who has no interest in realization, and there's something for that person also. So because of his compassion, he has talked about all these methods, self-inquiry as well. But in reality, if you understand, it's all done. That silence is with you, with everyone. There's no exception to the rule. Everyone have this Atman, Brahman, self. And you can know it only in your own silence. When you disengage with all thoughts, disown all of them, give up your relationship. Not for this satsang, forever, all the time. Some people say, oh, look, what I do is, I have learned these techniques by some psychologist or, that keep up the good thoughts and discard the bad thoughts. It is like you put your hands in garbage bin, you're picking up some garbage and leaving some garbage. That might be a good technique to stay in ego, in person mode, but for realization, it is all or none. You have to take this jump. Mind will say, no, look, I've given you so many good things also. Don't leave me. And it will give you different excuses in form of thoughts. And if you follow those excuses, then you are again into the trap of thoughts. Thinking you are this body and mind. But if you stay as witness long enough, whatever the mind brings, and it will come with a huge force, because we have put all this garbage for so long, it has to come out. But in this fire of pure awareness, it will all get burnt out. At the end, you will be the winner. And for that long, you have to pay attention. Some people have not collected garbage. For them, it might be a matter of maybe a couple of months. For some, couple of years, some maybe longer. It also depends how seriously you take this mission. Some people might be doing only 3 times a week when we attend satsang, and then they get swayed into the daily routine and all sorts of things what the mind is saying. Then it will take longer, definitely. And I have to warn everyone, because some people, they don't talk here, they give me a call and then they say, look, but I am in this position, I am the director of this thing, I have great responsibilities. The way they speak, it looks like so big ego they are carrying, and they're loving this ego. Then what can I do? Nobody can do anything. You have to step down from that big image of your own self, that you are something huge, big. You have put a lot of efforts to reach here. How can I step down? Kissa kursi ka, all about that position, I can't give up this position. Do you have any other way? I want to keep this position in my mind and still I want to be free. Nobody can do that. You can only fake, ego can fake that I also know Advaita, I know this thing, and it is very easy, Ramana is my guru and I know self-inquiry, and perhaps I can also write a book. So I should be free. I am free already. All these are tricks mind plays on us, self-sabotage. But for a sincere seeker, it is very easy and very direct and immediate. Doesn't take that long. Someone asked me that if I get liberated, then what will I achieve in this world? Will I get more money? Or um, people will start liking me? Or what will happen? What is the benefit? That person has to take next birth or maybe many births, because if you are still looking something out of it, this it's very hard to explain. That's why it is so hard to understand this simple truth, because mind takes over and it only knows business. What will I get out of it? What is for me? Because for you there is nothing. You become no thing. You actually lose all what your mind wants. This complete given up of your ownership of even this body and mind. What about other things of this world? That pure energy which we all are is full of compassion. It gives you what you want. But if at the end you want that which is source of everything, then it has only one rule, that you have to give up everything else. You only If you're only interested in that, then you will know it. Because just understand this common truth, that if you're looking for other things also, that means there is some interest in these images, and you're behaving at I am the body idea with ego still intact, then how can you be free? Freedom is only from the fake identity which we believe we are. What we are looking for is what we all are. That is untainted, uninvolved. When we stay as uninvolved, without interacting with thoughts, without doership, then whatever is the definition of that, we attain that. It is this simple. So you just stay that. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.